talking about the nature of the exhibits. How are they productive? How can they be educational elements? And actually we found ourselves in each group kind of struggling with defining what the goals of the facility and therefore the goals of the exhibits ultimately were. And the definition that was kind of put on it is it a goal of being a science center or a productive farm? So we thought one of the key things to do, and kind of our first action step, is actually doing a market study on seeing what the overall productivity of this facility could be if it ended up being in a farm type setting, and then ultimately, could it be CSA style, could it be a farmer's market? What is the potential of the facility? Because if you're looking to make it a productive farm, then maybe kiosk exhibits aren't necessarily the best way to go or the only way to go. If it ends up being a science center, then you need to capture attention, and with any exhibit you need to capture the attention, so they need to be engaging. We talked about interactive media, ways to get the attention quickly, and then some form of follow-up. So one of the things we hit on in the first group was a website, and if it didn't make the action item list, no, it did. A website and a newsletter that you could subscribe to, so that as you're passing through on your way to lunch, you can get the big message and then say, I want to learn more. So putting together something that would connect after the person leaves. On the same note, something that would engage frequent flyers, so to speak, to constantly come back. Something that changes about either each individual exhibit or some overall message as you're coming through, so that people want to come back and it doesn't just end up being wallpaper that they no longer notice after they're coming through for a couple of weeks there. We also, as this group mentioned, with rainwater harvesting off of the roof, we didn't want to lose sight of the fact that this exhibit, that the building was an exhibit itself and the potential for it, and it's the original idea behind it looking up and being a greenhouse. So we talked about the same things, rainwater harvesting that maybe could water the plants in some form that would be out here in the exhibits. On the same note then, we talked about, and this is spending money, but we talked about the possibility of hiring somebody or bringing somebody in that could coordinate the exhibits to make sure that each exhibit meets those goals and that each exhibit has those elements that make them a productive exhibit within the gallery.